Hey, Tony Gasson here. One of the things that hurt me the most, as a former matchmaker, um, yeah, used to be a matchmaker. And just because I was a relationship coach, I'm a relationship coach, so sometimes that lead to, hey, you know anybody and all that. So one of the things that bothers me the most that I see is a love for money. And it's happening so often, and we typically know it to be women, and that's where the term gold digger comes from. But men do it just as much and the same way. You ever, because men are superficial. That's kind of known. Men are superficial, and women get upset about that because women equate, when women hear somebody like myself say, "Hey, judge a man by his character. Let his character be his currency." Women always say, men ain't judging a woman by her character and let her character be her currency. He judging her by her booty and by her this and that. And so why we got to judge a man by his character? And so it's always that comparison made. And that's a fair comparison. If you want to be superficial as a woman because men are superficial, then that's your right. My thing, what I like to say is, if you see somebody acting stupid, don't act stupid just because they acting stupid. So if you got more common sense than that, then why do that? And that's why when people say think like a man, the flaw with that think like a man is 9 out of 10 times today, men are not thinking like men. They thinking like grown boys. So when you quote unquote doing what a man doing, you really acting childish. And so this is what you have to think about and realize. Now I can't talk too long, I'm still under the weather. And to the growth group, God bless you. We got a few spots open in the growth group. Some people just, finances in this season couldn't allow them to remain in the growth group. So it'll be open for sign up on November 25th. But to the growth group, they've been waiting on me. We got a call this month, but I can't really. Our session is normally 2 hours. I can't talk that long, and but these videos, that's why I got to keep them a little shorter than normal. But think about this now. Once you get to a certain amount of money, male or female, once you get to a certain amount of money, you gotta be more diligent. And you got to understand where you come from, because a lot of money is relative. So $50,000 a year could be a lot of money depending on your city, depending on where you at. 75,000, 100,000, 100,000 gonna be a lot of money pretty much anywhere. Other than probably like LA and New York type thing, but even then it's still a good amount of money. And now once you cross that, which I've coached clients who, at 250, 300K. And once you get in that range, you got to be very, very leery about the people you date. And you gotta have you a trusted circle that you can lean on, and that you can say, hey, do you think this is authentic? Do you think this is real? And if the consensus says, no, I don't think this is authentic, I don't think this is real, and these people are not haters, these people, like if it's me, for example, if I'm in there, I ain't got no reason to lie to you, because I can't be with you. Me telling you the truth, that's upsetting you. So, if I'm telling you, then I'm not lying to you for money. I'm telling you like it is. You see what I mean? I had to refund a client last night $400 for a coaching session because I had to go to my son's game. So I don't do nothing for the money. I don't care about the money. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And it's a lot of y'all that's getting bamboozled. It's a lot of y'all getting bamboozled. And we see it happen on the celebrity realm all the time. We see it happen where this man get with this woman, and if that woman didn't have that amount of money or that type of fame, that man would not want her. or this woman get with this man, and you know if that man didn't have that money and that fame, that woman would not want him. And so this happening all the time, and it hurt me to see, because a lot of times the person who got the money, who may not have the aesthetics to go, with it, or they haven't had the aesthetics, they just kind of naive and they gullible and they blinded. And they think, oh, somebody love me for me. No, they love that bag on you. The amount of money that you have in this thing, you got to be careful about this. And this is what I always tell people. Now, this don't apply in every sense of the word, but it does. It should. When you look at somebody, you got to ask yourself, would this person have wanted me when I was in the 8th grade? Would this person have wanted to date me in the 8th grade? If this type of person, this look, was not checking for you in the 8th grade, maybe you could say 10th grade, because you say, well, I was a little more developed. I was my full self. I was a little more, I had to have my growth spurt. 12th grade, the reason why I'm using those grades is because it's before the money. You could even say, would this person have wanted me as a college freshman? It's the same. It's because it's before the money. You have to be able to look back and say, who was checking for me before I had a job title, before I had this amount of money? Who was checking for me? Then that's what you got to look and realize. That's your level. That is your level right there. That is your looks compatibility. That's your looks compatibility. When there was nothing else in play now if you was loose booty and you coming off that thing and that's your reputation, then that's why they was checking for you. So they weren't checking for you just so if you had this, person who look amazing, came to holler at you, but you hadn't slept with 15, 20 people, and so the word could have been out that you about to get down, then that's why that person approached you. If you had all the test answers, you got hundreds on your test, and everybody know it, and this person who look amazing came to approach you, and these amazing looking people was approaching you, but they always asking, can they study or can they sit by you in class? Then that's why they approached you. So it was some extenuating circumstances. It wasn't you. It was what you doing, what you putting out, what you could do for somebody. So we always got to be reminded. And that's why I would never leave my wife. Only way I leave my wife is if she cheated on me. If she took a stupid pill and thought that this certain type of man wanted her. But she wouldn't cheat on me unless I'm, distant and I'm gone and I'm not paying her no attention and all of that. But I will never leave my wife for another woman based on her looks or her status. And now I say that now. I told my wife, I say, listen, we were joking though, but I say, hey. But this one thing that I try to get women to understand. Men, one thing that get most men is money. It's money. That's what men fear losing the most. So if a man is with this woman over here and this woman really love him and he could have some love for her, but he has not all the way grown and matured, he's still a liar or a cheater. And then he meet this other woman, and this other woman has more money, more earning potential. She got a title or she heir to a throne. This man going to leave this woman for this woman. And we have seen it happen. We've seen it happen with music producers leaving the woman that loved them for another woman who is a Grammy Award winning artist or something. We've seen it happen with pastors leaving the wife that helped him help them build from scratch, build a church for scratch, and they will leave that woman for another woman, cheat on this woman with this woman because this woman is a best-selling author, world-renowned speaker, heir to the throne of a mega church. We've seen it happen with politicians. We've seen it happen with school teachers. We've seen men leave a woman who loved them and who loved them at their lowest. Loved them. We've seen it happen with comedians, leaving the woman who helped them build a comedic career, gave them money, went around the country with them while they making $500 a show, and they will leave that woman for this other woman who looked like a model, perfect body, all of that. It's men will leave a woman for another woman for this woman's looks or for this woman's money. And guess what? That's something I refuse to do. I refuse to do that. There's a lot of women that done reached out to me. Hey, Tony. Hi, Tony. Hey, Tony. Hi, got a question for you. And they may look like a model. They may be a model. But guess what? I'm not entering in no conversation with that. If you want to talk to me, you have to hire me as a professional. I don't talk to women as just no regular conversation, just shooting the breeze. I have to be hired as a coach or a consultant, and it stay within those boundaries. Point blank, period. Because I'm not finna strike up no little friendly conversation with this woman that I could end up falling for, that I could end up liking, and end up in an affair because we trying to be quote unquote friends. And she talking to me because she see the way I take care of my wife. And she say, well, hey, I want to see if he could like me better. I want to see, because if I think I look better than his wife, if he want to be with me. And that could be her motive. And so now, sister, you want to talk to me? Okay, all right. You got to hire me as a professional. Not no friends and no DM. That ain't how it's going down. Because I love my wife, and she was there for me when I didn't have nothing. When I was broke, busted, and disgusted. Now, I could look overweight to you now. My wife was with me 40 pounds ago. I done put on 40 pounds since I know my wife, since I met my wife. Probably 50 pounds. Probably around 40, 50 pounds I done put on since I've known my wife. And so, and she still love me. She treat me better now than when I was 170 pounds with an 8-pack and all muscle. She treat me better now. And guess what? I can't forget about that. I can't forget that this the woman that loved me when I was making $20,000 a year. So, although the Lord has brought me way up, I'm not finna forget about who loved me when I was building. And that's the thing. When you get you some money, you got to make sure that the person that's dealing with you, and see, a lot of times people look at it and say, oh, well, they got money too. Yeah, but you got to look at how they got their money. You got to look at what they money attached to, what they money connected to. And you got to look at what they money looking like, and what is the trajectory, what's the long-term goal of their money. Because see, some people got money, but they know their industry gonna get shut down in 10 years. They know that their industry gonna change in 10 years. They know that a bubble gonna happen and they're gonna lose it all in 5 years, 10 years. They know that they can't do what they doing for the rest of their life. So it's some types of money that people know it ain't gonna last. But if you got that type of money that you could do what you do until you die, or until you retire, and when you retire, you're gonna be set up nicely, lavishly, lovingly, then they will still attach to you because they know they could go up with you. And I see it happen both ways. Women who their career fall off because they are artists. They career fall off, but this man, he done made way more money than them as an athlete. And this ain't a typical type of man she'll go for. He ain't necessarily the look she want. But because her career done fell off and ain't nobody buying her music or ain't nobody buying her clothes from the swap meet that she's selling on the online boutique, or that makeup that DKing, ain't nobody buying that. So she go get her an athlete because it looked like, oh, he got another X amount of years to play. And then they get to transition into broadcasting. And then they get all these endorsement deals. And they doing endorsement deals far after they get done playing. Like how Michael Strahan, this man making more money now than he made as an NFL player. So a lot of these women seeing these athletes and they looking at the athlete as dumb. Because they know most men think with this here. So they say, oh, he finna think with this here. Let me go on over here and meet him. And he's not even gonna process that a woman like this never wanted him before until he got this bag on him. He ain't even gonna process it because he thinking with this. And vice versa. Vice versa. The man say, she not even gonna process that a man who looked like me, man who looked like this, never wanted her until she was a Grammy award-winning artist, until she was a TV host, TV star, until she was, whatever it may be, an executive, a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, owner of her own multi-million-dollar clothing brand. Like, look at these women. Look at these men. Now, it's somebody for everybody. But a lot of people getting people who did not want them, and it's only for the money. And I want you to look at it now. I want you to look at it. And I'm going to give you an example of something that is looks compatible regardless of the money. And that's Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. That is a couple that with no money in the 8th grade, if they were the same age, I don't know how far apart they are in age, that is a couple that they would have been looks compatible. If Michael B. Jordan was the star quarterback in the 12th grade and Lori Harvey was the cheerleader in the 9th grade, they would have dated. That is a couple that is looks compatible. And it's other couples that's looks compatible I can't think of right now, but just because somebody looks compatible still don't mean that it's authentic, but it can be. But a lot of times what's happening is people getting together for money, for the business play, for the play. And one of the things, now this is one group of sisters, which we won't say names because when you speak disparagingly, a lot of times people say, Tony, why you don't speak on this, speak on that? When you speak disparagingly, I don't know if that's the right word, if that's a word, about people who got a name, who got power, they'll get your whole video took down. They got the owner of the net of YouTube in their phone. The owner come to their parties. Hey, y'all, this here video, take it down. Take the whole channel down, actually. Come on now. It's a network. It's about who you know. So guess what? That's why I don't be saying people names. And that's why I tell y'all, keep people names out my comments. Keep people name out my comments. Everybody know you could describe them. You know what I mean? Like one young lady the other day, and I really appreciate and respect that. She was talking about a couple, and she used other descriptive words without saying their name. That's how I like to move. Now, every now and then I say somebody's name, like I just said, Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey, but I ain't saying nothing bad about them. You see what I'm saying? So they ain't not going to be mad. Take your video down. You feel me? But you know when I'm talking and I'm describing stuff, you know what I'm talking about if you know. If you don't know, then it's not intended for you to know. The lesson not for you. But if you know, that means you know of that couple and you done seen this happen and you probably was a little inspired by it or you thought it was couples goals, relationship goals, but now you thinking about it, oh man, that was nasty how he did her. You see what I mean? So now you get the lesson. So understand this. Just because somebody looks compatible don't mean it's authentic either. Because if one person industry gonna be fading out of style and the other person industry gonna be on and popping, then that person could say, hey, let me get with this person because they gonna stay in the money. And they're gonna help me get more money too. And so that's what you got to look at and understand. But when you look around, and I want you to look at celebrity couples because they in the media and you could see them and you know them. But look at the celebrity couples, and I want you to go down the list of every celebrity couple, and you ask yourself, is this couple looks compatible? Like, is they energy compatible? They style compatible? Like, or does this look like a business deal? Does this look like, hey, we together for the money, for the business, for the look, for the branding? And that's when you're gonna realize, and that same thing has to be done in your life. So my wife looked better than me, but you know that it's not for the money that she with me, because she was with me since she was 19, and I was 21. And so there was no money involved. And what you also got to realize, a lot of people don't understand this either. People don't understand how people could look better over time. So my wife, the way I used to dress, she be clowning me. But my wife today, in her mid-30s, she looked way better to me than she did when I met her. When I met my wife, she was nowhere near this beautiful. She was a pretty woman, but she looked way better now. You know why? Because now she understand the eyebrow shape for her face, the thickness level of her eyebrow. She understand what hairstyle. She understand fashion. She understands skincare. She didn't need skincare when I met her, but being of age, you need skincare. She her body done filled out. I'm more attracted to my wife with meat on her bones than being slimmer. I like some meat on the bone. I'm from the South. You see what I mean? So my wife, to me, like wine. She get finer. She get better with time. And where some of us like soda, we get flatter with time. And so what you have to understand. So me and my wife, we were looks compatible. We were looks compatible when we met. We look compatible now. That's why people say we look like siblings. And that's really what it's gonna be when you remove the money. Are you really compatible? At your core, are you compatible? Hey, this is Tony Gasson. I'm on drinking here orange and ginger and lemon and all this right here, and so that gave me a little, my mind a little where it need to be, but I can't talk too much. But I want you to think about this, the love and the money, and I want you to make sure that you're not being used for your job, for your title, for your connections, for your money, and that this person is really somebody who brings something, that's equivalent and that's fair and that's genuine and that's real. And that this somebody that would have hollered at you before you had this title, this money, this position, this career, this job, this business you done started, whatever it is. Really think about it and make sure you're not being used for the wrong things. Hey, this Tony Gasson. God bless you. We'll talk soon.